Hey everybody, welcome to Play, Ranked, Share, the show where I play the marquee PlayStation 5 titles, create an ever-evolving ranking of the best PlayStation 5 games, and share my opinions with you. My name is Tyrus, and this episode is focused on the PlayStation 5 games that disappointed me in 2021. When picking which games to make episodes on, I tend to focus on experiences that resonated with me, games that have something to say, or do something interesting and unique in the industry. As a result of this, I typically focus on games that I enjoyed, as evident by the high review scores that are present across the show. However, there were 5 games I can think of that I played, beat, and wasn't impressed by in 2021. For one reason or another, these games didn't get reviews done, so I wanted to circle back, share my thoughts on these games, and add them to my PS5 game ranking list. Before I start, make sure to subscribe and comment below what your personal PS5 disappointment of the year was, and with that out of the way, let's jump in. Growing up, Left 4 Dead 2 was one of my absolute favorite multiplayer games to play. At the time, I found fighting off the hordes of zombies exhilarating and loved spending time testing my skill in the PvP mode. This led me to highly anticipate the developer's newest game, Back 4 Blood. Released during the crowded fall, I felt disheartened playing Back 4 Blood. I was hoping for something that refined the process of Left 4 Dead, but instead I felt like I was playing a hollow imitator. The characters had bad chemistry between each other due to poor writing, probably a result out of there being 8 playable characters and only 4 on screen at a time, making it harder to write and record dialogue that you know the player would experience. The combat itself felt fun and fluid, but I also quickly tired of facing the same enemies over and over again. The game also has an extremely unsatisfying, lifeless PvP mode that I grew bored of after a few rounds. Back 4 Blood is best played with friends, but I can't help but feel like the game is stuck in Left 4 Dead's shadow. I wonder if this criticism is justified, but developer Turtle Rock did rely heavily on Left 4 Dead nostalgia in the marketing campaign, even down to how they named Back 4 Blood. I was hoping for so much more with my experience in this game and can't help but feel disappointed after my time with it.
I'm scanning the hand. Is something I never thought I'd have to say.
One of the most oft talked about games on the PS5 this year was Battlefield 2042, and not for good reason. Long viewed as EA's answer to Call of Duty, the Battlefield franchise was poised to take some first-person shooter market share after Call of Duty Vanguard did not appear to be as dominant as a force. However, Battlefield 2042 turned out to be an incredibly underwhelming release, as the game appeared to launch with a complete lack of content. Featuring only 2 main game modes with an additional user-created mode, Battlefield 2042 did not launch with enough content to justify its $70 price tag on the PS5. While I did enjoy how the shooting felt, the use of very large maps did take me out of the experience and sometimes caused me to go long stretches without any action. I don't like using vehicles when playing online shooters and often found myself hopelessly matched against someone using a tank. It's possible that Battlefield is resonating with some people. It was the second best-selling game in the United States for November, and it does now rotate different user-created modes and maps when you log into the game. But for me, there wasn't enough content to make me feel satisfied with my purchase at launch.
Incoming fire! My position!
Outriders reminded me of a relic from the PS3 era cover shooters. While the shooting mechanics felt fine, I found that largely the game as a package fell really flat for me. The story seemed messy and at times nonsensical and just used as a vehicle to bring your character to different set pieces. It's been about 7 months since I beat Outriders and not much about the story has stayed with me, but I do remember all the characters feeling bland and uninspired. It does feature a cool scaling difficulty system that changes based on your performance, and that helped keep the game challenging for me throughout my time. But otherwise, Outriders really wasn't a game that resonated with me at all. I didn't spend much time playing games in April because I knew I had to go back through and beat this game, but was so bored with the story and uninspired by the gameplay. Developer People Can Fly is one of the biggest independent game studios left on the market, and I wish them success in their games, but this one just didn't land for me.
Together, we shall fuck them up!
When thinking about what games I was to include in this list, I almost completely forgot about Starlit Nexus. An action RPG released by Bandai Namco, I was very intrigued about this game after it was shown off at the Xbox event in May 2020, and I thought it looked like a promising new IP. While I think this should turn into a good RPG franchise going forward, I was still disappointed with the first entry. Starlit Nexus seemed primed to be an impactful and unique RPG leading up to launch, and then ended up feeling like an overly repetitive experience once I played it. I felt like I was continually fighting the same enemies in the same environments using the same strategies to defeat them. I had trouble connecting to the cast of characters, as I felt like I was bombarded in the beginning with their introductions, and they did not have distinct enough personalities to stand out. There was also a weird lack of cutscenes in the game, instead being replaced with visual novel-like stills that did not seem to fit the rest of the game. As a general theme with the games featured in this episode, I thought the gameplay was pretty fun. It just didn't offer enough variety to keep me entertained with my experience the whole way through. If there is a Starlit Nexus sequel down the line, I think I would still give it a shot, as the developers could refine the formula and create something special here. Since it's not technically a 2021 release, I decided to save Assassin's Creed Valhalla for the last spot on the list. Assassin's Creed Valhalla dominated much of the time I spent playing games earlier in the year, and took me over a month to beat. Valhalla offers the player a wide array of content to pursue, and features some impressive graphics for an open world game. However, I really didn't enjoy my time with it. My main critique is that there's a lot of content that just feels meaningless. There's not much incentive to explore side content, as it largely didn't seem to benefit the main character Eivor. I was particularly disappointed with the village building aspect that was mentioned in pre-release, as I thought this would be a meaningful component of the game, but it ended up not affecting the story much at all. I spent 53 hours playing Valhalla, and while it had moments where I enjoyed it, I couldn't help but feel like it was filled with bloat, and would have been a much better game if it was streamlined and only took 30 hours or so to beat. Those of you who have watched Play Ranked Share in the past know that I keep and update a ranked list of all PlayStation 5 games. Back 4 Blood is RA ranked at number 23, but it's time to add the others to the list. Since this is more towards the bottom, all other games mentioned in the video are ranked right around Back 4 Blood. I thought Starlit Nexus was the best game of the bunch, so I ranked it at number 21. While light on content, I did enjoy some of what I played in Battlefield 2042, particularly fan-created modes, and ranked it at number 22. Assassin's Creed Valhalla is bursting with content, but most of it felt hollow to me, and I decided to rank the game at number 26. I found Outriders to be a generally forgettable experience, and I ranked it amongst the lowest of this group at number 27. The full PS5 game ranking list will be posted in the comments below, so make sure to scroll down and see where your favorite stands. Thank you for watching this episode of Play, Ranked, Share. Make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified when future episodes are released. We still have one end of the year wrap-up video coming out, and it's the AA games of 2021. Right now, you can check out past episodes like our all-important Game of the Year episode and our underrated game list. Make sure to leave a comment telling me what your PS5 game disappointment was this year, and until next time, don't stop sharing.